Hello everybody, CephalonKet here with another Duet Night Abyss video. So last time we talked about the weapons in Duet Night Abyss, how they need to be stronger, how they need a lot of work in order to be viable, how it would help characters that are not as strong if they were able to rely on their weapons. So since then actually, I have been farming a lot. Even more, and I have actually gotten Randy here to I6, intron 6, and I've been trying, because I can, I've been trying to see what he can handle. To preface, of course, as we mentioned in the previous video, certain characters in the game, such as currently unavailable. Okay, there we go. Certain characters in the game, such as Hellfire, such as Sybil, Veronica as well, is not as strong as others, such as Lynn, Lady Nightfall, etc. Certain characters are just stronger. We cannot avoid this. However, we can do our darnest to see the maximum potential of the weaker characters. And Randy was my pet project, let's say. So I have him at intron 6, as I mentioned. This is important because it makes his ultimate ability actually do damage to health as well as to shields. And his skills are at level 8. I don't have them higher because the Twilight Thread currency is very limited, and I don't want to waste it. I only have 2. You get 1 each week. It's not worth it to invest in most characters right now. I'm trying to save up. And yeah, so these are the stats for Randy right now with my build. He has a lot of defense. He has some shields as well. I'll mention why. And yeah, it's looking pretty solid if we think that he's built on defense instead of normal attack usually. So let me explain why he has shields in his build. Well, this is because here on the intron 6, it says that the electro damage is equal to Randy's shield points plus ultra shield points. Now, I don't know if this is incorrect. However, shield is different than defense. So, if we look at his build, he has both stand fast for defense, almost maxed out, and he also has blessing, which gives the maximum amount of shield he can have. So this is the build I have on him right now. To be clear, I'm not saying this is the most amazing build or anything. This is the build I'm going for, and this is the testing I've been doing with him. So we have the most important, the defense. We have shields for his intron 6. This is useless without his intron 6. We have some sanity because I found that you will need to use your ability a lot, and without some extra sanity, it will become more difficult to sustain him. We have Ravaging Thunder for some skill damage. We have morale because morale boosts him quite a lot, and then Stand Fast Eternity 3 times for the extra defense. Skill duration is not as important, but it's also quite nice. And then, of course, for the weapons, we have his basically the only sword that could work for him, the Ingenious Tactics weapon. The build for the melee and ranged weapons don't matter a ton for the testing we're going to do. However, we will be relying on our melee weapons and our ranged weapons a little bit to finish enemies off. We have to do it if we want to survive with Randy. So this is a very straightforward build for the sword. This is a build for the ranged weapon, just using Excretio for the skill damage bonus. Maybe the attack bonus pistol would work as well, but I personally chose this just because this is the one I use mostly on every single character. So we have these, we have this, and we have this, and this is how Randy is at I6. So we're gonna go to a mission and see how he does. First, we're gonna go to, let's see. Let's go to a level 65 mission so we can actually show how he works in a mission where, you know, he can be comfortable in, right? So let me just choose a mission here. Let me just pick this.
Let's target the weak spot in their
Defense. Will not be summoning companions on purpose, so we can see him in his full glory and how he can handle things himself. Again, you will think, well, level 65, it will be fine. Yes, but we are going to be focusing on his ability, which will be doing damage at rank 6. And we see that he can actually clear enemies now just with his abilities, which is really nice. So we're not using our weapons, we are only using his ultimate ability. We will not be using the this ability here, because this one does damage already and it's boring to use. This is not what we want from Randy. The first ability is basically just for when you're farming things and you don't mind just sitting still. So we are now on level 2. We are gonna be spamming our ability here. This is a tanky character, so it's gonna... Ah, there we go, perfect. And we did it. Okay, so he passed the test, not the max level test, but he is able to very comfortably clear out level 65 enemies with his ultimate ability. So that's pretty sweet, because you will not always be going to max level missions. So you don't always need to have your super OP characters such as Lady Nightfall, such as Lynn, and stuff like that. Some characters are meant for lower level missions. However, let's see how he does in a max level mission, level 80. Okay. Godspeed, expulsion, let's go. I'm gonna start with just him, and if we find things difficult, I'm gonna summon companions. Okay. Okay, so when the enemies are higher level, we will have to use our melee weapon. However, if we are actually able to finish off enemies, that is fine with Randy, because Randy's focus is mostly on getting shields down. Okay, so we have some tanky enemies, but we can see we are slowly clearing out enemies. That's pretty good. I'm happy with that. Remember that when you're solo, missions take a lot longer to finish than when you have companions with you. And also another thing that I've noticed is that shields are much harder to take down than health, which is great with Randy because his ability is meant to clear shields quickly, and then if you have a solid weapon, you can actually just finish enemies off much faster with your melee weapon. We are gonna be spamming our ability here. Now you might be thinking, well, this is taking forever. Yeah. Like I said, Randy is not meant for the super high level missions. He will not go into a mission as a main character, as a controlled character, with level 120 characters, enemies, excuse me, and be able to clear everything out. He will need some help, but he can be a solid support, and he is able to a bit slower but clear things out. And he also gets a bunch of ultra shields, which is nice. So this took us 2.5 minutes to clear 100 enemies at level 80. Personally, I find that pretty good, considering we mostly used our ultimate ability. And it's very different than before we had him at intron 6. Before intron 6, Randy is just there to remove shields, and I would say he's pretty useless without his intron 6. But with his intron 6 and with the build I've cooked for him, we can actually even go to level 80 missions, which is great. And yeah, that's the main part of the video is done. So let's go over things again. So Randy, if you want to make him usable, you will need to invest. That it means intron 6. That means a lot of secret letters. Thankfully there are some farms with that. And you will need to get his abilities up. If I had the abilities here maxed out, especially the ultimate ability, he would be able to do even more damage. But I, like I said, don't want to invest that much for a test like this and for a character that we know does not hold up to other much stronger characters. So even though we have him at level 8, we saw that he can stand his ground. And also the other important thing is that he can stand his ground and not be squishy at all. He gets a lot of shields, he has a ton of defense, so he can actually, solo missions without getting overwhelmed by enemies. So that's pretty good in my opinion. And yeah, that is basically it. Why did I do this? Because I can. Because I like to see how much I can push the system. I've also done the same with Sybil. I got her to intron 6. I haven't tested her yet. I haven't done a build for her yet. However, I hear that she actually becomes really good at intron 6, so we'll see how it looks. And yeah, Randy, there you go. If you liked him, if you like him as a character, if you find his name funny and want to use him, if you find his ability to drain shields good, which I personally do, I really like that he can just wipe shields in one go. This is a possible way to do it. This is a build that seems to work pretty okay. Of course, I'm sure somebody else might find something better. For example, maybe you can replace skill damage with morale. And maybe that is better. I haven't tested that, but maybe that works more than just having skill damage. I don't know. But since he scales up through defense, and with his intron 6 with shields, I chose this as a safer option. So yeah, I hoped you enjoyed this little guide and showcase. Let me know what you think. Check out my other video regarding the weapons in Duet Night Abyss, or let me know if you're interested in anything else or that you'd like me to cover. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye bye!